And here we are. Good morning, everybody. My name is Osa, and we are playing Farm Sim 22, Maypole Farm. And today's the day we do some harvesting of our own fields for a change. So we have leased this harvester and bought the trailer last week, and we should probably do that, maybe do that, and probably also do that. So we have a field of sunflowers to harvest, and fortunately for us, I've only gone for a small harvester, so there should be enough room to make our way down to our farm without having to have a trailer for the header. So not sure what other plans we'll have after we've harvested the sunflowers. I think the sunflowers don't sell well till about March, so we may store them, or we may not. We do also have a grass field that we can cut as well, so I might be buying some grass cutting equipment. So that we can do that whenever we want. Now, grass field does say it needs to be ploughed, and we might take a look at that over the winter period. Plough it, lime it, replant it with grass, because eventually we will probably have cows in the cow shed and thus in that field. So kind of nice, there's no collisions on the lampposts or the street signs. Now, probably not, we're definitely not owning a harvester this year, because we don't have the fields for it. We don't have the fields to justify owning our own. But there are some nice large looking fields around here. I'm not sure how much they cost, which may end up worthwhile us buying and then saying it's worth having our own harvester now. I added a few more things to the mod list, notably a couple of grain carts and I think a couple of tractors. Now, once we've added things to the list, or to the mod list, from tomorrow they become potential store sales. But for right now, we would have to pay full price for anything. One thing I think I would like to do is take the hedge down around our house, which I think I can do, and put up a fence. And here we are. Okay, I believe this thing doesn't unfold would appear to be the case. So plan is we'll go around the field counterclockwise, which keeps the auger on our left away from all the trees that are overhanging the field and potential expensive damage. Not that there's any cheap damage to combine harvester. And we can probably jump out. That seems to be working nicely. Now we did fertilise this crop just back in September, which gives us a perfect nitrogen level. The field does not need ploughed, so that's no detriment there. It does not appear to have any weeds on it, so again, no detriment there. And what's the other thing? Oh, the lime. Okay, we are going to have to do this in cab. So I don't know how we're going to do with lime. And that appears to be a tree. Good, good, good. And this is about as annoying as Old Stream Farm in Farm Sim 17 was. Trees hung. At least we're not, for the most part, crashing into tree limbs. We're just passing through bits of tree that have no collisions on it. But Old Stream Farm was just a pain in 17, where you drive along the edge of the field and every tree you meet, you hit an overhanging limb, and the vehicle comes to a complete stop and you have to maneuver around it. I did suggest it might be worth seeing if we can chop back some of the trees on the edge of this field. The bits where there is, I've done it again, good grief. So on the right there you can see we missed some sunflowers, but there's some patches of dirt that don't seem to have anything in them. They do have sunflowers, just not enough to trigger a sunflower, the image of a sunflower in the field. Okay, that seems to be working, obviously. Usually find this a lot easier with a wider header, because it sticks out further past the edge of the harvester, and thus you can guide it into the rows you want to cut. Anyway, we're definitely getting a very good yield. I wonder what this is doing. Well, we'll probably have to harvest the whole field before we figure out what our environmental score is. So again, that field there, we cut that as a contract, But that might be something we want to look at buying. Give us two big grass fields, and I might not want that field as grass if I buy it. We maybe mow it and then turn it into an arable field sometime. Now the other thing we do have here is it's still planting time for winter crops. So we could plant some barley in this field before we're done for the year. As I said, I think the only thing this field needs is lime. Jump out and check that. Yeah, lime's a little low, but nitrogen's perfect. Oh, we have growing weeds. Well, too late on that. We don't seem to have weeds, we just seem to have growing weeds, so that's a thing. I'm not sure if I need to pull all the way to the edge. Doesn't look like it. Okay, we are 57% full after one lap of the field. Probably a little bit more. But we now have a clear path for our grain tractor to run down. I think we will do here. So we can now reverse our course. And that will now put the auger or the pipe on the outside, so that we can empty the harvester successfully. Next thing we need to do is that. Oh, and that. Let's try again. That. And set destination to right about there. That seemed to work, so get this thing going again. So I did have a viewer last week who was saying that the worker travel doesn't work too well in the farmyards, because farmyards are kind of random. However, they do work for travelling to the fields. So we will be able to make use of that. And if we sell directly from the field, we should be able to make use of trucking straight from harvester to sell point. But the main issue with it is it doesn't work with fields. Oh, the tractor seems to have a problem. No, there he goes. He's fine. Oops. So we will, for the most part, be able to stay on a field doing field work, rather than having to do all the carting ourselves. which is nice. We're already 0.2 hours in on this. Well, kind of no surprises there. I mean, the part of the problem with that is we had to drive all the way here for a start. %. Interesting looking textures in this corner. Oh, that may have been, it was a little offline. So it backed up and repositioned. I'm guessing that was the deal there. Okay. And that was a terrible turn. Let's try that one again. Still not turning off. Turn off, thank you. I'm trying to turn the beacons off about 3 or 4 times now. Okay. But the yield looks exceptionally good, so I'm kind of happy with that. Oh, and automatic stop does work. Yay for that. And the tractor is still down the road. Okay, that was weird. This is the field we want him to be in. I just kind of expected him to stop in the entrance to the field and not drive through the hedge. Okay, that's strange. And there's a patch of grass. Oh, there's a patch of grass across the road there. Anyway, let's see how easy this is with the tractor under the trees. And here's the pipe. Oh, we've got to go a lot further. Okay, that's approximately in the right place, but not quite so much. There we go. Huh. Okay. Leave the tractor there and try not to get our heads chopped off. Whee. All right. So how do we do? That was about. Can't see the darn thing. 1 2/3 of a headland. Why is that not going in? Pipe in 7. 7? Okay then. Oh, yes. 7 is the pipe in, pipe out button. Absolutely forget what that used to be in Farm Sim 19 and 17. The pipe in out button used to be, I think, 10, the same button that's used to unload everything else. But because I have stock Combine Harvester mod, which is not available on the mod hub, can't remember where I got it from. It might have been from the LS Farmers mod site. That does mean that we're not going to be killing crops accidentally, because I haven't noticed how full I am. So I think because of the trees at the end, we'll probably do 3 headlands. And then start the rows. And I'll start the rows from the bottom of the field over there. We'll call that the bottom, because it's lower. But, yeah. A little bit more. All right. So I think my plans for this field are probably going to be barley. It'll give us access to straw. It'll give us a grain that, while it's not very valuable, is quite plentiful. I also might once we sell these sunflowers, which, as I said, are probably not going to happen till spring, we might look at field prices, see if we can find a field that's not growing anything. And I might also plant some corn. Not sell all of the sunflowers. And see if we can try and finagle some piggies into our barn. And the solution for potatoes, I will probably do a knock down one of the sheds and maybe put up a garden and grow potatoes in it, and we can use that to feed the pigs if we buy some. And we won't need a potato harvester or anything crazy like that. I forgot to fish the tea bag out of my tea. There, now that's better. Alright, this is a standard piece of leased equipment, so we have to choose if we want our leased equipment. That's an interesting looking aeroplane. Our leased equipment to have GPS installed. Obviously with contract equipment, I think that always comes with GPS. And the other thing I'm not sure, obviously I didn't check, was how much capacity does the grain cart that we have hold, and how much capacity, or how does it compare to the capacity of this harvester? It's generally, when planning those things, you kind of do well to match